hundreds of thousands of people. So that's predominantly why. And secondly, is the cost, and we are comparatively cheaper destination still, and we are about 20 to 30% cheaper compared to India, for example. So SME who's really focused on cost and trying to take advantage of global sourcing, it makes a lot of sense to come to Sri Lanka from that point of view.
So if you take the IT BPO industry landscape, so as a percentage, how much, what is the percentage of SMEs and also then the global players? What is it like as of now?
In Sri Lanka?
In Sri Lanka.
I think in Sri Lanka right now, I would say good 90 to 95% is SME based industry, and largely dominated by SME players. Maybe very few medium to large enterprises is more on the smaller side. And it bodes well with what focus that we've had over the last 10 years or so.
So what are the challenges that the Sri Lankan IT industry will face in going to these targets to become the first largest forex earner?
Right. I think there are probably three areas. The predominantly is about capacity. Do we have the right amount of capacity, right number of people getting educated, coming out of the university, coming out of the professional courses and so forth. So capacity is going to be a significant challenge for us, and we need to really continue to focus on that. Secondly, how do we create awareness about Sri Lanka? We have a lot of work to do in terms of creating global awareness, and we've had a lot of bad press for a long time due to the conflict. We have to do, really get over that hump and demonstrate that Sri Lanka is a viable destination for global sourcing. So those are the two big challenges. Third one is really to creating a right incentive scheme environment, so that we can create the right environment or the ecosystem. The companies can set up. Doing business has to be pretty easy. There has to be right amount of incentives. Globally, many companies are trying to attract all these companies to their countries. So it's a very competitive market space. We need to be able to create the right incentives to be able to attract companies to come into Sri Lanka, as opposed to going to Egypt or Philippines or somewhere else. So it's a competitive market space from incentive point of view.
So let's go one by one now. The challenges you talk about, because I think that's an area that we need to also pay a lot of attention.
Correct.
So if you look at the fact that it is now the post-conflict business case that is there,
yes,
and that we need to sort of rebuild our image, and in other words, we're talking about branding Sri Lanka as well,
right,
and also sort of having an investment climate where other parties can look at Sri Lanka as a favorable destination.
right.
So do you think there is sufficient interest from the government? Has strategies been taken from government's perspective and
right,
also multi-stakeholder perspective?
Right. I think there's a lot of interest from the government, industry, and the other stakeholders. I think, so to speak, the stars are aligned. Right? There's a lot of discussions, a lot of alignment about what needs to get done. I think it's time for us to really accelerate that development. We need to really convert that hope and aspiration into action, and then really making sure that we do some really large-scale initiatives very quickly to address some of these challenges.
So if you elaborate on some actions taken by SLASSCOM, what
right,
are the actions that they've actively taken to address these challenges you discussed?
Right. So SLASSCOM point of view, we are organized around 7 core focus areas. Predominant. There are, I go one by one to give you some idea. SLASSCOM is organized around forums. So we have a forum called Global Trade Forum. The objective of Global Trade Forum is to really go and create brand Sri Lanka outside of Sri Lanka to attract clients. So we focused last year predominantly on UK. So we've done multiple initiatives to take Sri Lanka there. We participated in sponsored events, brought clients together, create a lot of awareness, brought our diaspora together, trying to build linkage between diaspora and Sri Lanka back. So Global Forum has taken multiple initiatives to start creating the brand. Then we have a capacity forum, which is really about working with the universities and the education system to be able to get increase the numbers as well as the quality of education, so that it's aligned with what the industry is looking for. I think there is a lot of work that needs to get done on that side, and SLASSCOM has been working with almost all the key universities in the country in those two fronts. I guess a lot more needs to be done. Then the third one is domestic forum, where we're focusing on how to build domestic industry. I think for a vibrant export industry, there has to be also a good vibrant domestic industry. So our focus there is how do we help local companies to adopt IT and global best practices effectively, so that they can become more competitive, at the same time create a domestic market for IT BPO companies. Fourth one is HR. Right? I think this industry is human resource based and predominantly driven by human capital, so we need to have world-class HR practices. So HR Forum brings together all the HR professionals from leading companies in Sri Lanka, and we bring in experts from outside of Sri Lanka to build a HR practices that is in par with the rest of the world. Right? So HR Forum. Then we have a Quality Forum, which focus on how to build quality in our organization, how to build, again, bringing global best practices around delivery, how do we effectively deliver high quality products with a low cost and so forth. So that's the Quality Forum focus. And then we have an Entrepreneurship Forum, where we're really focusing on how do we build new entrepreneurs, how do we get new companies started. While we're attracting companies to come and set up in Sri Lanka, we also need to encourage Sri Lankan youth to get and start a new companies. One of the key things about IT industry is that it's relatively easy for a person with great idea to convert that into a great company. Right? And so we are focusing on how to drive entrepreneurship. And the seventh and the final one is policy. How do we? The Policy Forum is really trying to work very closely with the government, provide our thoughts and then engage. We've had very great discussions with almost all the key government organizations to help creating a conducive policy environment that help grow the industry.
So that's quite a bit actually.
That's a lot.
7 areas that SLASSCOM actually undertakes key initiatives in those areas. So
Right.
one thing that you referred to, which you also talk about when you were talking about challenges, is capacity building.
Right.
So the extremely important need for the connection between education and industry.
Yes.
And you mentioned that SLASSCOM is working with the universities. So can you expand on that, because I think that's an extremely important aspect.
Correct. I think that's very true, Deepamala. I think there are, when we look at the capacity strategy that we put in place, there are by and large 3 areas, right? One is awareness. Do people know this is a great industry to get into? Traditionally people focus on being a doctor, engineer, lawyer. We have a standard set that parents will guide their children. We need to make sure that software engineer, BPO operator also get added into this list. These are jobs with tremendous potential, right? So, and also creating awareness about that. You can also start companies, not only getting into a job. So first one is awareness, right? How do we really we need a significant national focus in making sure in the schools countrywide create that awareness. Secondly is about increasing capacity in our education system, right? How do we really complement our education system, expand it, and perhaps bring in the private sector to play a more rigorous and active role in expanding the capacity and build enough seats, if you like, so that we can produce. The third aspect is making education affordable, right? And I think our vision is that the education doesn't have to be cheap, but it has to be accessible, right? So, and specifically in this area, IT and BPO, our hope is that we want, if we can establish a very good student loan kind of systems, which is successfully driven in many parts of the world, that student who borrows to invest in their degree in IT, for example, can pay off very, very quickly, because these are, you can get into high-paying jobs almost immediately after you complete your studies. So there's very easy way to pay back. So we're working with some of the banks to help set up a vibrant student loan industry. I think there's a humongous potential for the banks to get involved in this and really focus on these niche knowledge-based industries to help create that affordability, right? While we are creating capacity, while we are bringing in more seats and more opportunities, we need to also make it affordable.
Right, so we are speaking to Mr. Madhu Ratnayaka, Vice President, General Manager of Virtusa, and also the General Secretary of SLASSCOM. We will take a short break and we'll be back with you soon.